A lot of people have been emailing me about this, and I want to know, can somebody explain to me what the deal is? So Ohio, yeah, is having a special election called Issue 1. And apparently, if it's a referendum, and if the referendum passes, they will change it so that 60% of voters are required to pass a new constitutional amendment rather than 50%. So, for those of you who don't know, in addition to our country having a constitution, every state also has a state constitution, and different states have different rules for changing the state constitution. The most recent time we talked about the state constitution was in Kansas, where a state constitutional amendment guaranteed protections for abortion, and the referendum to change that element of the Constitution failed. So, in other words, Kansas people, not exactly a bastion of Democrat voters, voted to keep the Constitution as it is to protect the right for an abortion. So that was cool. Over here in Ohio, yeah, it seems they want to shift it from a simple majority of 50% plus one to a 60%. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that this would be highly anti-democratic, and I don't know why. Can somebody explain to me? I'm genuinely asking. I don't have any strong opinions on it being 50 or 60% to pass any changes to the Constitution. So I would like to know if somebody could explain to me why people are very concerned about this. Requires citizens who want to place an amendment on the ballot to collect signatures from at least 5% of voters from the last gubernatorial election in all 88 counties instead of the current 44. Eliminate a 10-day cure period that allows. It would make it harder to change the state constitution, but it doesn't seem to be the case that it would make it harder in either direction, right? Like, it wouldn't make it harder for Republicans or Democrats. It would just make it harder, right? So, is there something about this that specifically screws us over, that makes it worse for us than for conservatives? It means you would have to get a signature from counties with barely anyone living there. Right, no, I understand that it would make it harder to change things. But this would just enshrine the status quo, not make things worse. But the way people have been talking about it makes it seem as though this would throw things over to the right. But I don't see that here, unless there's something that I'm missing. It's against the principle of majority rule. It's anti-democratic. Okay, so to be clear, when people are saying that this is anti-democratic, they don't mean it in the fashion we normally discuss on stream, which is it's anti-democratic in the sense that it will throw things to the fascists. You mean it's anti-democratic in a general sense, that it literally is just a move away from majority rule. So this isn't like a throwing things to the right issue. This is just a thing that would make change harder and thereby less democratic. No, it throws power to the fascists. Oh, okay. Our reps are all corrupt Republicans, so no good legislation ever passes. Amendments are the only way for us to pass them, really. Ah, so your argument then is that in Ohio, the referendums are a disproportionately progressive avenue of change because they're on pure majority voting and they don't rely on the pre-existing gerrymandered legislator system. They don't run through the legislature. So it's the Republicans want to shore that up because this is effectively a way of making it a non-factor for any kind of partisan change. That's basically it. Wonderful. Thank you. It took a little bit, but now I understand. Okay. More Perfect Union has a video in this issue. Then I will happily steal their content and take a look at it. That makes sense. And it's a traditional Republican strategy as well, where you have you control people where you control people, basically. If you have people in a legislative fashion, don't let them make change in other fashions. This weird Ohio election will likely decide whether abortion is outlawed. Interesting, okay? All right. Well, I guess in line with the theme of this stream, if you want to see good content from More Perfect Union, subscribe. I'm not subscribed to them. I'll fix that. More Perfect Union. I know them mostly for their Twitter posts, but they consistently, you know, line in on the issues that I care about. So this is the first time I've watched a video of theirs. Presumably, it's good. With sound, please.
When Republicans overturned Roe v. Wade, they thought the issue was settled.
What an historic day this is, and...
Are you ignoring the abortion vote in November or something? Selenium, I need you to understand, okay? Maybe you're forgetting. I'm an idiot. If there's something that doesn't seem to be factored into my analysis, more likely than not, it's because I've forgotten about it or I don't know. Not because I'm maliciously ignoring a specific subject. So rather than saying, is he just ignoring this? Why not try saying, hey, don't forget about this? You see? That way you're reminding me without being an asshole.
And what a great victory for life.
What they didn't expect was the people's response. People from all walks.
Sorry, I meant to send that a few minutes ago after mentioning it. My bad. I forgive you completely. Everyone, look at this, the ideal chatter, okay? If this was the Soviet Union, a 60-foot statue of you would be built in the center of a town square to commemorate your service towards the improvement of VGG. Thank you.
Of life all across the country organizing in their states to codify abortion rights.
Voters in California, Michigan, Vermont, and Kentucky enshrined abortion protections in their state constitutions. In 6 states, new abortion bans have been blocked by state and county judges.
Ohioans are poised to be next, submitting nearly double the number of signatures needed to get an abortion protection measure on the November ballot. That is, until Ohio Republicans...
Okay. Wow, you guys should have mentioned this earlier. So this special election to change the rules for a referendum, they just threw this up like really quick to try to block the abortion protections. Like, I did? Well, I didn't see it.
Tried to change the rules mid-game, setting a dangerous precedent for the rest of the country.
See now, the more we learn about it, the more obviously anti-democratic this is.
The situation. Ohio Republicans are holding a special election in August to raise the threshold of voters needed to pass a ballot initiative from 50 to 60%. The timing in an off year when voters aren't paying attention and that seemingly arbitrary percentage increase couldn't be more strategic. The abortion rights measure I mentioned, that's polling at 59%.
I think they think Ohioans are not nearly as smart as we are. This is about cutting off the people's right this November to have a say on whether or not abortion access is legal.
Why do you keep saying "yat"? I don't know if there was some. I don't know. I'm annoying my friends with it in real life too. Whenever I hear Ohio now, I see this face flash in my mind, screaming "yat." I don't know why. It's like a mimetic virus.
In Ohio.
That's author, activist, and former head of the Ohio Democratic Party, David Pepper, explaining the real reason for the August special election. But don't just take it from him. Here's the Republican Secretary of State of Ohio saying the quiet part out loud.
This is 100% about keeping a radical pro-abortion amendment out of our Constitution. The left.
Wow, that's fucking overt. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're changing the law, the rule of law in our country to block this popular amendment people are supporting. Okay. All right. Yeah, it's pretty overt.
Left wants to jam it in there this coming November, and so yes, it's about abortion, but it's about so many other things as well.
On the record, Republicans claim this effort to up the amendment threshold is about protecting the state's constitution from out-of-state special interests.
Our state constitution is the supreme law of Ohio. It contains the fundamental principles by which we govern ourselves, and it should not be subject to societal and cultural whims.
But this claim is not only untrue, it's hypocritical, because out-of-state special interests are the very thing spearheading this special election. There are 2 main people you need to know about. Richard Uihlein is a Republican mega donor who gave $1 million to a newly formed super PAC that encouraged lawmakers to vote for the special election.
I've said this so many times, and it's so important to always remember this, okay? Not only are our enemies demons, but their positions are so objectively bad and morally repugnant that they need to have a secret fucking cabal of ultra-billionaires funding all of it, you know? Like, everything they say about quote-unquote, like, coastal elites is projection. Every time you see some far-right initiative, some new up-and-coming politician from the far-right, some big media push, even a big YouTuber, they are being funded by dark money from Republicans. Seriously, every time. There is no grassroots support over there because regular human beings will not support their positions without being blanketed with so much propaganda money that they lose sight of themselves. On the left, grassroots campaigns are real. Bernie Sanders nearly beat Hillary Clinton basically entirely with donations from across the country, you know? There are tons of progressives in Congress and local elections who won based on actual, like, door-to-door grassroots campaigning. Not with Republicans. If there is a meteoric rise in prominence or popularity, it is because someone very wealthy is funding them every single time.
Sabotaging abortion rights. Uline is from Illinois, and he's the PAC's sole donor. You might recognize his name. Corrupting our democracy is sort of his thing. He and his wife spent more than...
Yes, a lot of churches have been asking their parishioners to vote yes on this as well. We really have to start taxing churches, man. I wonder how much money is on the table for that.
$50 million during the 2022 election cycle alone.
This was not something that people in Ohio were demanding happen. No one's been running around Ohio in recent years saying, oh my gosh, the Constitution is weak and needs to be fixed. That hasn't been happening. This is a big money out of state, and it's part of a much bigger right-wing agenda that is pushing most of the issues they care about through gerrymandered state houses, largely against the will of the people of those very states.
Yeah, this right here. This is illegal, by the way. Or the tax exemption status of churches is predicated on the assumption that they not get involved in political matters. Obviously, churches have been getting involved in political matters for literally all of human history. It is completely legal. I'm sorry. Sorry. The term illegal is incorrect. It's not illegal in the sense that cops will show up. It's that the broader tax protection is predicated on a disengagement with political issues. So it's not a matter of, like, police showing up. It's a matter of, like, our general laws when it comes to the treatment of churches' tax statuses. Yeah, I don't mean illegal in the sense that, like, the cops will bust them or whatever.
The other big money interest behind this election is lobbyist Mike Gonidakis. He's the head of anti-abortion organization Ohio Right to Life, a key backer of the August election, and he's made a career out of saying things like this.
How many countless little girls are aborted every day in Ohio and the United States? That's the real war on women.
Ohio Right to Life has...
Little girl? What? Dude, they're so fucking creepy. If you have an issue with, like, abortions, why would you say, what the fuck do you mean, little girls? What is it? This isn't China. People don't abort girls for being girls or whatever. What, like, he's God, it's so fucking weird.
Built a lot of political power in Ohio.
Yeah.
Very connected at the state level, very connected with the leaders in...
Is that so thing? Not as much, no.
And they said they wanted a special election, and there is a special election.
Ohio Right to Life announced earlier this year that it's the founder of a dark money coalition called Protect Women Ohio. They launched a $5 million ad campaign to defeat November's abortion amendment with ads like this one. Brace yourselves.
Your daughter's young, vulnerable, online.
Jesus
You
Christ.
fear the worst, pushed to change her sex or to get an abortion. You have some right to help her through this, but activists want to take all that away.
I have seen the ad before, and we know that they want to make this election about what it is not. They saw the excitement around our ballot initiative, all of the support that is being shown from citizens across Ohio that want to be able to vote in November to protect abortion access. And so they created a special election where they will change our Constitution, change our access to democracy so that they can prevent Ohioans from being able to make this personal decision themselves and to vote specifically for reproductive freedom.
Here lies the irony. In overturning Roe v. Wade, the Supreme Court majority argued that, quote, the decision properly leaves the question of abortion for the people in the democratic process.
Ohio is a red state. We talk about Ohio as a swing state, but it's not, right? If I remember correctly, the margin for the popular vote in Ohio for the past 2 presidential elections was something like 8, like between Trump and Biden or with Hillary. It used to be, but we're red now. Yeah, I think right now, functionally, they're a red state. They have a blue senator. Yeah, but I mean, like, in terms of their overall. They should not be, but gerrymander gonna gerrymander. No, it's not. No, like even just for the popular vote, I mean, for the presidency, like even without the gerrymandering, just in terms of people. I think, well, the Democrats have failed Ohio. We talk about how the Democrats have done terribly in Florida and in New York, but I feel like there's a story about the Democrats failing Ohio as well. And I haven't looked that much into it, so I don't know the details, but I think it's another example of them fucking up a swing state. Kid of the Rogue, I can't have you on, but if you're in Ohio, or shit, even if you're not, I mean, the vote for the special election to change the rules is in 7 days. Progressive Victory is hosting phone banks to vote no on this amendment right now. Okay, folks, you know what time it is, all right? Phone bank time. If you want to help not make Ohio, gozaimasu, a shit perma-fucked state, okay, then Progressive Victory will need your help. All right? You need to get on in there, and you need to go add this, and you got to do calls, okay? Do it. Do it. Yeah. Do it.
But this conveniently timed special election proves Republicans don't want to leave anything to the will of the people unless the numbers are on their side.
This is basically saying to the people of Ohio, we may be the most corrupt state house in America. Give us more power. Take power from yourselves.
Corruption and lawlessness are nothing new, but that doesn't make this any less damning. Shortly before Republicans decided to hold this election, they had outlawed August elections because of low voter turnout. They're effectively...
Jesus Christ.
They're effectively breaking a law that they put in place by holding one. But that's how these Republicans work. When the rules no longer serve their interests, they change them.
I like her. What's this woman's name? I don't recognize her. I like how she presents this. I don't know if she wrote the script, of course. Jessica Burbank, mostly on TYT. Gotcha. Jessica Burbank. That sounds like a made-up name.
Can't win? Cheat. It's as simple as...
Guys, why the come on, guys, for real? Like 50 of you just talked about her appearance. Really? Blonde bitches are boring as fuck, though? Come on, guys.
that.
We have lawlessness built upon lawlessness. So this is a group of people that themselves are in districts that violate the Ohio Constitution. And from their illegal districts, now they're breaking their own law about when an election can be held to try and change the Constitution so a majority of Ohioans can't protect choice this November.
The more the extreme right wing can't win over the majority with their cruel and unpopular ideas, the more we can expect them to pull out every dirty trick. And the most outrageous part is democracy has become so weak in states like Ohio that they can totally get away with it. Unless Ohioans show out in mass August 8th to protect their right to weigh in.
I just wish the audio quality was better. The mic that she's using is echoey as fuck.
One of the most important issues facing the state.
We have a very strong coalition, and the majority of Ohioans, when they have the opportunity to hear about the special election being, forced ahead of the November election, when they see what extreme politicians are willing to do, we know that Ohioans are going to turn out in August and vote no. So voting no in August is critical to being able to vote yes in November for reproductive freedom. It is essential.
How funny would it be if we lose and the special issue gets put forward and they change the bar for the referendum and then the referendum passes anyway because they get the 60%? How fucking funny would that be?
that we win in August and essential that we win in November.
Republicans in Ohio and many across the country do not want you to make choices.
Bosh, why do all U.S. politics just focus on abortion, LGBT stuff, even though there are so many other issues? Well, because right now and for a long time, the right are the aggressors on political issues, and that means they decide the front. It's the culture war. Over here in America, the right is like predominantly like a Christian nationalist bloc. So the issues that we focus on are going to be heavily tied to the stuff that they decide to focus on. The reason why the reason we talk about social issues isn't because they're the only ones that matter. It's because you have to, otherwise you lose that ground. And if you lose that ground, that means that you're in a worse position for the next thing they decide to target. You have to always fight where the battle is, basically, you know?
It's about your life, even if you're in the majority. And if you're in Ohio, you will be setting the stage, setting the precedent for how these ballot measures play out across the rest of the country.
If they are successful in moving this threshold to 60% to lock out the majority of Ohioans from weighing in on issues like this and others, you bet they're going to do it in other states. It will become the new best practice of how you protect their extremist agenda against the mainstream views of people like Ohio and other states. If it's successful here, they will do it elsewhere.
According to this poll from NBC, Ohio voters are split on issue 1. 41 opposed, 42.4 support, 16.6 neutral/undecided. But a majority of Ohioans support the abortion rights amendment. This is like the average voter has no fucking clue, right? They don't know. All the people who are supporting issue 1 know that they're doing it to fight against abortion or to like cut that in. But yeah, or at least most of them do. Do you think we could ever win over Ohio if Dems did something to help them? Every goddamn state in the union would be voting blue if the Democrats were competent. Every single time people in like a red state are polled on actual issues, then it's like, well, they should be voting blue. Like, the things they want are the things the Democrats are closer aligned to. It's always because Republicans are just more aggressive and they have more money that they dump into shit like this, you know? Yeah, go to the Progressive Victory website and try to sign up to a phone bank. I mean it, guys, okay? Be the bulwark for democracy, all right? Be Progressive Victory strong.